Hey y'all, welcome to the Pungo Prairie. Now, a while back I made a video and posted it called The Chuck Box, which a whole lot of y'all seem to really enjoy watching, and some of you were even inspired enough to build your own version, which to me was deeply flattering. Thank you. Now, you may recall early on in the video I made reference to several previous generation camp kitchens which led me to building the Chuck Box. And one of those was a Lake Moomaw mini kitchen. And I happened to bring it along up here to camp with me this time so that I could give y'all a virtual tour of that. So, don't go nowhere, because you don't want to miss this. Now, the reason that this little Chuck Box here is called the Lake Moomaw mini kitchen is because when my son Trey was young, I used to like to take him camping over on Lake Moomaw, which is right over the mountain here in Bath County. And we like to camp on this little island instead of being one of the developed campsites. Of course, you could only get there by boat. So I needed a Chuck Box, a light enough, compact enough version of it that we could haul over there in his 16-foot Lund, or we could even take it in the square stern Old Town canoe. Now, let me show it to you. Now, first off, I've got it sitting on one of these little fold-up stands here that Coleman makes. See, folds up like this, and they make it and designed it to set their little Coleman camp stoves on. But that right there is all you really need. Now, the lid to the box is constructed of 1x4s and 1/4-inch piece of plywood. The bottom is a 1x8 box that also has 1/4-inch plywood on the bottom there. This one measures 24 inches across and 18 inches deep, and when it's closed, the total closed height is almost, not quite, 11.5 inches. I hold the lid down with two of these cabinet latches. This right here serves as a carrying handle or a towel rack, and all that is a stainless steel grab bar rail that you would find at any marine catalog that you would normally mount on a boat. And the top connects to the bottom by a continuous brass piano hinge. Okay, let's open her up here. Undo our two little latches there, and she opens right up. Lock down our stainless steel Perco Marine hatch support. Then we're just gonna open up this little shelf here, just like so. I got this little bungee that hooks right here in that little eye screw, helps give it some support on that side. And over here is a chest lid brace you can buy at any hardware store that supports this side right here. Now, what I did is I drilled a little hole in it and can lock it in place with this little bungee right here, so it doesn't want to drop down like that and collapse on you. Now, one thing I did was cut this little notch right here in this back 1x4, because when this little lid support right here folds down, it travels inward, and this knee, this elbow, or whatever you want to call it, needed that little extra space for clearance. Now, just like the big Chuck Box, it's got this little shelf up here that holds these 4 Rubbermaid cups and 4 little plastic drinking cups. And I got this shot cord, just like so, that kind of holds all them in place. Now, these 4 little plastic cups right here, they're going to go right here in this little fold-up drink holder that you would normally install on a boat. And right here in this little cubby hole is our plates. Now, one fellow wrote in and said, "Hey Dixon, wouldn't it make a whole lot more sense to use metal plates?" Well, actually, I used to use metal plates. I use those porcelain coated little blue or black speckled metal plates that you'd find with the matching, metal cups. And what I found was when we was camping in cold climates during hunting season, like up in the Rockies or even here in the mountains of Virginia, you serve your hot food up on that metal plate, it would seem to cool the food off a whole lot quicker than these plates like these Rubbermaid plates or Corral or even a paper plate. So that's why I quit using the metal plates, because I like to keep my dinner hot longer. Alright, what we got in here? We got a cutting board made out of a piece of 1/4-inch star board. We'll set that right up there out of the way a minute. We got some assorted spices. I'm going to show you where they're going to go here in just a second. Right here, we got our little Cutlery Caddy, which I'm just going to pull our forks out for a minute. And you see I got this little wing nut and carriage bolt. We're just going to spin that off. Now the reason I do the wing nut on the inside is so when you lay it down, it nests and you don't have to worry about that longer bolt sticking out the backside here and getting in the way. It gives you a lower profile when you're trying to nest everything, and this compact as you can get to save space inside the box here. Now I'm just going to lift out this whole dish pan here, set it over here out of the way for a second. I'm going to move our whole little spice rack out of the way. And right here I have got our knives. Now I made this little knife caddy out of a couple pieces of 1x material that I ripped down to the proper width. I doubled up right here on the top, so I had a little bit wider bite to hold these knives in place. Of course, curved them with a saw right here, the appropriate depth depending on how wide the blade was before I nailed and glued the top on. Now we're just going to take our knives out of here a minute. That's our chef's knife. Here's our carving knife. You gotta have a fillet knife, and then a little paring knife. And again, we got a wing nut with a bolt. We're gonna spin that off. Okay, I'm gonna take our little bolt, just stick it through the hole there, on with our little knife caddy, right on with the wing nut. Tighten it right up. Now back with our little paring knife, fillet knife, carving knife, carve up a nice prime rib, and our chef's knife. And I got this little cup hook here. You can hang a corkscrew, bottle opener, pair of tongs, whatever. Okay, right on this side, I got nested in here a colander, a strainer. I don't know why I need both. 4 bowls, and of course our coffee pot. Just getting all that out of the way for a second so we can hang up our Silverware Caddy. Go right in the little hole we got drilled on the side there for that. And just tighten that wing nut up. Secure it in place. It don't have to be real tight. Then back in with our forks. Now I made this little caddy just out of little pieces of wood that I ripped up to the appropriate sizes and dimensions to hold it where it wasn't too tight in there. I got steak knives on the side, spoons, forks, and butter knives here. Now goes our spice rack. I got these little wooden dowels in the bottom of it that'll push up inside so they're not sticking out, so they nest in the box. But they'll go in 2 little holes I got drilled up here, and they'll lock right in place and hold your spice rack. Okay, for our cookware, we're going to get that out of the way just a minute. This right here is nothing more than a set of Coleman nesting pots with lids, all different sizes, that double as frying pans. Now the only problem, this is a light gauge steel, not a thick heavy bottom, so you gotta be careful not to burn stuff, but it gets the job done. There are 3 different sizes. These are the little frying pans. I've got a set of stainless steel cups nested in there, and then you got your little pots, and each one of these have a handle, and they got like a slip joint, and you can actually hang those over a fire if you need to. And down here on the bottom, the right hand side is a folding dish rack. It sits right up there, just like so. Now when I built the big chuck box that y'all saw, I figured out a way to do the hinged lid worktop area. And if you remember, this front panel folded down. But you need a workstation here. I mean, you need a work surface. So what I had to do here, I got this divider that comes out, and then right here I got a piece of starboard, and over here is just a drop-in lid. This divider, it'll slide right in these little grooves right here, just like so, and there's a ledger on each side of it, and of course will hold the cutting board, work side, and your little countertop. Right here I had to cut out a little notch to allow clearance for our back support. One other thing that I got over on this side is a set of shish kebab skewers. Now that's something I haven't done in a long time, but I used to do them all the time, shish kebabs on the campfire. And I think this year, this season, I'm gonna get back to doing some shish kebabs. Okay, all our Coleman nesting cookware will go right back in there. Our little colander and our bowls and strainer, and then put the lid right back on it. Now our coffee pot here, it's probably going to get used more often, so it's really no need to store it back away. We'll keep that kind of handy. Okay, remember our dish pan that was stowed away inside there? This has got all kinds of goodies in it. It's got a wooden spatula. It's got some thermometers, measuring cups and measuring spoons, a ladle, I'll show you where that goes in a minute, a can opener, a knife sharpener, a little mini torch if you want to make a creme brulee or just help get a fire going, propane, a couple extra shot cords, and some bag clips for your chips, a clothespin, and then right here, hard to find anymore, is this little roasting pan. The top of it can be a little wash basin. The bottom of it, which got the handles on either side, has a little rack that goes in there. You can roast a chicken or a small turkey or a prime rib, or if you need to cook some with the lid, there you go. Okay, for the time being, we're just going to store this stuff back in there out of the way. You got to have an ice pick. Put that in that little hole I got drilled right there. Over here, I got some cup hooks on the side of our little cubby hole where our plates go. This just makes it more convenient if you want to maybe hang up your little vegetable peeler or your little whisk. I also got a cup holder on a little utensil caddy here. You want to hang a set of tongs. Okay, so up underneath here, I got these cup hooks with our serving utensils, and right here I got a grater with grate cabbage or cheese or whatever. Now for your paper towels, Coleman makes this little paper towel rack that hangs right on their little stand, and you can adjust it for level. Turn these little tensioner screws like so, and then you've got paper towel rack. Now something else I did was I got this length of 1/4 inch steel stock. I put it in a vise and I bent it in a right angle, and then fashioned this little upswing angle right here to make a little hook. Right here I got a little hole drilled in the side of our little chuck box, and that inserts right in that little hole, and there you have a stand for this little collapsible brass candle lantern. Now if you don't want it hanging right there where it might be in your way a little bit, all you got to do is pivot it off to the side just like that. Well, there you go. Just a simple, compact little chuck box. My Lake Moomaw mini kitchen. Now I hope you got some good ideas here if you're fixing to build one for yourself. I know there's probably some things that you do differently. There's things that I did do differently. Ideas I got when I was building this one, when I built the big chuck box. But this one right here that I built about 35 years ago, I think I told you that, has served as a faithful, rugged little camp kitchen that we've drug in and out of boats, up and down mountainsides, across rugged terrain, on four-wheelers, you name it, this little chuck box has been there. And I really hope you all enjoyed watching. And that, girls and boys, is how we're cooking on the Pungo Prairie.